Hey, hello, let's get started.
Hello. Yay,
Hello.
we're back.
We are back, and so I hope it will get better, not get worse. Yeah, we are just like back to our streaming. We are back to our live on
Yes.
the internet. Yeah,
Yes. It
as
was
you
a good
know,
break though. It was
yeah,
a really good break though. It was fun.
yeah, it is. So just so you know, if you're watching the video in the future, we are in the third. Is it the third lockdown or is it the second? I don't know. 2.0,
I'm
2.5.
on the third one. Yeah, for Ireland is the third one now.
Yeah, it's the third one for us as well. So yeah, it's our third lockdown, and we are just staying safe and tucked indoor, which is great.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah.
We love it so much. No traveling, no going anywhere. All conferences online.
Well,
Indoors. We love it.
I took advantage of it. I have a lot of plants, so I've become a plants parent because of that. And because usually if I travel a lot into conferences, then all my plants will die tragically. I think when I first moved in, my friend got me plants and then they all died. So my first batch of plants all died because I was too busy traveling and like I wasn't taking good care of them. But now it's just like I even built a greenhouse for them now. I'm like the opposite of what I was. So
I am very proud of you. I am not on that level yet. I'm sticking with, I don't even know what I'm sticking with, but you cook, you run, you get plants. Yeah, no.
yeah, not so much running these days, but I do go to the grocery store quite a lot now. This is the only thing I can do now, going out. So yeah, so that's basically it. And yeah, so maybe we should just talk about Python right now. So let me share my screen.
Yes, we have a few
Yeah,
things
so far there's
now.
the update from us. We plan to meet up in Christmas. It doesn't happen, so because of the third lockdown. But yeah, so here we are. So why is Dual Python the first one? I think we meant to talk about PyCon US first. Is it? Yeah. So by the way, we have now the note of the podcast on Notion. So I've made it public. So can I show it to everybody? Are you agree on that,
Yes,
Lace? Because Lace is
yes, go for it.
doing most of the work for making the note, and I'm just like free writing. So, but like it's a bit difficult to remember. But I mean, like if you're watching the video, maybe you can pause it and edit there. Um, yeah. So this is the notes that you can follow our notes there. So you see the first thing that we want to talk about is PyCon US, which I think the CFP is now open and is open till early February, I think. So yeah.
Yes, they
Speaking.
just opened and it's supposed to be really, really cool, although it's going to be online again.
Yeah.
But they also have slots for tutorials and it seems like it's going to be a fun one. So have you
Yeah.
submitted? Are you thinking about submitting, Chuck?
I don't know. I'm like thinking about what I want to do this year because I kind of I need some new inspiration. So I actually really want to work on something about Django. So if you're a Django guru, please contact me because I need some help. I want to work on to write a ORM. So if you want to adventure in that area, please contact me. I have lots of things for you to do. Yeah, they will be fun. I would poke around with the ORM, which I mean, like I've talked with Adam before, like Adam Johnson, I guess before, and basically he said that it's quite a difficult task. So I was like, okay, I would have a look, maybe, So yeah, if you want challenges, I have lots for you.
What is what is ORM? Just
Or
because I have no idea what it is, and maybe someone else doesn't.
is it's just ORM is if you use Django, because if you, yeah, so well, I have some tutorial about Django before that. If you want to make some query at the database for your web application, you can basically build a model with Django instead of making the query yourself. So there's already the default ORM for Django right now is basically a SQL engine. So you could make SQL query by not writing
Mhm.
SQL query, by just like using the model within Django to do that. So that's really a good thing. So in order to make it work for other databases, for example, Terminus DB, then we have to write one for people to use. So yeah, so that's it. But
Right.
I guess in theory it could be done because Terminus DB already got a Python client, so structurally it's very similar to the Django model, but we just need a converter, so you can think of it that way. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm looking at the converter then.
Yeah.
I mean, the person that is going to write the converter.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, let's go back to PyCon US. So there's a lot of cool talks in PyCon US. You can check out what's before in the last year and all this thing. Yeah, everything is due on the 12th of February, like all the posters, tutorial, whatever. What is Chalice actually? Do you know what is Chalice?
No, I don't.
Yeah. So actually, I'm a
So
bit
talk,
like.
Charles.
Yeah. Oh, click on it. Yeah, I'm a bit tired of actually like presenting talks. So, oh, it's the Hashi program. Oh yeah,
Oh, how does that work?
I think it's in Spanish, so maybe announced at the first. Yeah, yeah, it's a Spanish word for talk, so maybe it's a. Oh, is it? Is Spanish talk? So yeah. So if you're a Spanish speaker, please
Okay.
submit a Spanish talk. I would love to do that, but I can't speak Spanish, so yeah. But how's
Oh,
your
maybe I could
Spanish,
do that.
Lace? How's your Spanish?
My my Spanish used to be very, very good when I lived in South America, like when I was traveling around. So I used to actually speak it, be able to speak it, but then I haven't spoken proper Spanish in a long time. But maybe it's fun.
Maybe you can do one
Mira's
with
have
Kanya.
Imagine that would be super cool,
Yeah.
actually. Because Miro was inviting me to do the Python pizza one, but the Spanish version,
Mm.
and it was like a 10-minute talk, so it was supposed to be super cool. But then I forgot to submit it. But then this one, this is interesting. I like this idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You should do
We'll
that
see. We'll see
to
what
just
happens.
like polish your Spanish.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a motivation for me to learn Spanish. I always want to learn another foreign language, but I just failed to do so. I think I need to, maybe I need to move to South America or somewhere that nobody speaks English. Then I can force myself to do that. Yeah.
I'm going for a season in South America after lockdown is over. So if you
Yeah,
want to
maybe
join me, we
lockdown.
can learn Spanish together.
Yeah, maybe lockdown is over. I will move to South America for a while. Just to get some sunshine. Like just to like live a different life than what I'm having right now. Yeah. So and force
You don't
myself.
want to be a London person. You
Yeah,
don't want to be a London person
it's good.
anymore. Okay, I get it.
Okay. Okay, so
Cool.
well, we always talk about
Next.
too much about other things. Next is FOSDAM. So FOSDAM, we have a Python dev room, and I think all the talks is already published. I think this is a general website for FOSDAM. It's a good event anyway, so you could poke around. There's a lot of it's basically open source focus, so you can join a lot of different topics. So not just Python, but other like programming languages, other open source things. But we have a Python dev room, so let's check that out. So yeah, it's a bit small, I know. Let me zoom in. Right, so Python. You see, there's so many things. Like, yeah, if you
Yep.
are, for example, if you want to talk about Perl or SQL, Mozilla. Oh, Mozilla got
Mozilla,
their own
yes.
room as well. Yeah, I don't know how Monsfest is going this year because I don't think they have it last year, so I don't know.
But that last year was at the same time that they were like getting rid of 300 people from their paycheck, wasn't it? Like that was the time when they just called out the conference. So, well, maybe this year they have a little bit more reasons to celebrate. We'll know. We'll see. But the Python dev room looks really, really, really cool.
Really
They did like a
cool. Where's your talk here? Jupyter Notebook to production code. That's a good one. That's Lay's talk. And yeah, I'm here. I'm still here. Okay, I thought I got deleted by them because I've trouble uploading my video. I was like, were they gonna cancel me? Like, but yeah, okay, it works. Good. So yeah. Oh, Lace, you got frozen, or is it me? Hello. Technical difficulties again. Okay, so Lace, give me a sign if you are back. So for some reason I can't see you. Yeah, you got disconnected, and I will try to summon her back. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going solo now. Lace, please come back soon. But anyway, yeah, this is the Python dev room. It's very, very small. And yeah, so join in and let me know. Yeah, Les is gone for a while, but that's fine. We have quite a good talk this year. I think they really make an effort to have more like diversity of speaker. We do have Chin. We love Chin. And then we do have a few speakers that we basically we have seen them before. Yeah, I think he is one of the organizers of Belpie, is it? Yeah, I'm so bad with names. We have Mario. I think we have him. I think in and Jason. We have them in pajamas as well. So we do have good speaker. So Lace, you're back.
I am back. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So
I
yeah.
had
So
issues.
I was just
Tell me.
introducing the amazing lineup of the Python dev room. We do have quite a good speakers. We have Lace, we have a diverse like background speakers. So we have Chin, we love Chin, and also we have I think Kathleen. Do I know her? Like yeah, we have Jason as well. We have like a lot of speakers
Yes.
that they are amazing. We know them, so they are amazing. We
You're
love
there.
them.
You're
I'm
there.
there for some reason. Yes, I am still there. I didn't got cancelled. I was saying that like I have problem uploading my videos. So I'm like really struggling. So please don't delete me. But yeah, I'm still here. Good. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's really good. So it's online. So if you can't go to FOSDEM in the previous years, this is a good chance. It's free. It's always free. But this year you don't even have to travel to Belgium to do it. So which is great. Just check that out. It's just FOSDEM. If you put that in your browser, you will find it. Okay. So next is what was next? Can I have a look at the?
I
The
don't.
ML group. So
Oh
is it?
yeah, true. It's a new machine learning group
You see all
for
my messages.
Irish
Sorry.
people.
Why they do it like that? Like LinkedIn just
It's
pop all
bad.
my messages for everyone to see, but like, yeah, it's so weird. Okay, I have to switch it off a little bit first. Sorry about that. So
It's
maybe
okay.
later you can talk about that without me showing it
Yes.
for a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the machine learning group is a new Irish group for people that want to learn machine learning. And they're around the Emerald Islands, so for everyone that is Irish or is interested to know if there is a machine learning group in Ireland. Well, now there is. It was created by Andrew Maguire. He's a machine learning engineer, and he created because he wasn't really sure if there was anything for machine learning people to learn around here. So if machine learning is your thing, maybe you would like to check it out. It's machine MLR as in Ireland in Irish. Oh, by the way, chat, did you see we have a fan? We have someone saying hello in the chat. Hello.
Hello. Sorry, I have only one screen and it doesn't show me everything. Is that? I
It's okay.
always think that. Yeah, I always think that that's Luke, is it? Or maybe I'm mistaken because like I've seen you a few times. So thank you so much. I know that you're my fan
Is
at
that
least.
is that Luke? It could be Luke.
It's Luke
Uh,
backward. That's me. Yeah, I was like, this must be Luke. Yes. Oh, we love you. Yeah.
yes, we do. Oh yeah, it is
Um.
him. Yes.
Yeah. So please support ML Ireland, which is amazing. And there's another thing. Well, this is like Ireland dominated. Thanks to you,
Yes.
Lace. So what's this?
Cool. So that is the meetup that is happening next month. It's the February Python Island meetup. We have Sam talking about security and authorization in applications. And then we also have Tyler Potts talking about DevOps for non-DevOps people, just like how do you deploy your Jupyter Hub application using Dask Gateway and Kubernetes without knowing Kubernetes. So yeah, so next week, no, 2 weeks from now, next month, and it's supposed to be really cool. So
Yeah,
if
it's a
you're
very
around and if you have nothing to do,
it's a very early advertisement, so people need to put that in the calendar, I think.
I mean, it's next month, like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really ahead. So I think we don't have much. We have GeoPython, which I think our good friend Martin, he is organizer of this, and basically he just advertise everywhere for people who are doing Python and Geo to submit to GeoPython. So the deadline is actually 2 days from now. And he said that it won't be extended. So yeah, last chance, and please submit it. I don't know what to submit. Like I may not submit. I don't plan to submit because I have nothing geo to talk about really. Like I'm not prepared to talk about geo thing. So yeah, if you have anything geo, please submit. And
Yes.
yeah, and then you can get the ticket as well. It's in I think is that in Swiss franc or CHF?
I think it's Swedish franc. Yeah,
Yeah,
CHF. I think it's
yeah,
Swedish franc.
yeah. So you can buy ticket as well if that's your thing. Yes, so it's in April. It's going to be online, and it's always a good event because I've heard really good things about it. Even though I'm not a geo person, but like I'm always amazed by the talk lineups because they're always talking about crazy stuff that people can do with Python, like
Really?
satellite images, like all these like research things that they do with Python. That's really really cool. Yeah.
Interesting. I wasn't, yeah, like I knew about your Python, but I haven't checked previous talks. But it sounds quite cool. So yeah, I'm gonna have a look then.
Yep.
Wonderful. What else do we
So
have?
what else do we have? Let's check the notes. And I think that's it for the news. I think that's it for the
Okay,
news.
okay.
And while I'm preparing to switch on the interview with Laura, and so maybe Lace, you can introduce a little bit about Laura, like how do we know her and find her?
Wonderful. Yes. So Laura Funderburk, I think that's how we pronounce her surname. She is Canadian. And we've met her. She's super awesome. And we've met her because we're looking for volunteers for pajamas for beginning of December last year. And she just like came forward and said hello. And she was awesome at pajamas, helping everyone as well. And then we decided to invite her to come and talk a little bit about community and Python for Meet Py. So like opening to 2021 edition with class because she's super cool. How was the interview, Chuck? Because I wasn't there. It was just Chuck.
Yeah, it's good. I think we just gotta go ahead and watch it, and then you can let me know how it goes.
Awesome. So let's do that then.
Yeah, let's go. Hey, hello. So today with me here we have Laura.
Hello.
Yeah, so I think first of all, well, this is the first interview that we do out like in 2021 for Meet Pie. So I think first of all, I would really want you to maybe introduce yourself. So like for the audience who hasn't like met you before, they know, and also like where do you base now? Like yeah, we are recording it. So yeah, maybe you can give us a clue why we have to record it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So my name is Laura. I was born in Mexico and I reside in Vancouver, Canada. I've been in Vancouver for the past 6 years. And as far as my involvement with Python, I started working with Python almost 4 years ago. I started by taking an online class while also taking on a volunteer role as a research assistant along with Dr. Cedric Schoff. I was doing my bachelor's in mathematics at Simon Fraser University at the time. And yeah, so my first experience with Python was using Python to validate sequence data. So I wrote some Python scripts and some bash scripts. And later on, I transitioned to the roles I have today, thanks to this experience. So yeah.
So you were a researcher, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what are you doing right now?
So right now, I have two roles. One, I work as a data scientist for Callisto. Callisto is a Canadian-based program that has a focus on bringing coding, data science, and data literacy skills to students in grades 5 through 12. So I use my coding to do data visualization and data cleaning. And then I also hold a role as a DevOps engineer for iReceptor. So this is a platform that allows researchers access to data from the adaptive immune system. So again, some of my Python scripting comes into play to do some data validation. On the ones outside work, I like volunteering a bunch for Python events. And so some of the things that I like doing is motivating people to get into Python. I started volunteering with PyLadies Vancouver this year. I'm pretty excited for what's coming ahead. And I've also volunteered for the Vancouver Data Jam. Last year, we held this event online. We were initially hoping to hold this in person in April, and then things came falling down into pieces.
Yeah.
So we rescheduled to online in September. We worked along with Oceanwise, so we had a bunch of projects, and our target audience was people who are just getting started with Python and R. So we gave them projects, we formed teams, and then at the end, we were very impressed with what people had put together in very little time and completely online.
So do you mind if I ask, like, how long have you been using Python?
About 4 years. Yeah.
For years, yeah. But
Yeah.
do you also do R? Because I know some data scientists, they also
Yeah.
do R. So you do
Yeah.
both, right?
I do Python, R, and Bash.
And Bash, okay, yeah. So you also have to do some CI stuff, or you also have to.
Yes, mostly scripting. Once I'm dealing with very, very large chunks of data, I can't run things through my local machine, so I use Bash for scheduling on cluster computers.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it sounds like a one-man band with that kind of like situation, is it? Yeah, so
Yeah.
I know that like some people from research background, they really can do anything. I was like, wow, you kind of like you're one person doing what the whole team is doing. So
Well, no, we do have to divide work. There's a lot that goes into hosting some of these projects, but you do need to be able to take on multiple tasks and roles for sure.
yeah, so you talk about the jam that you was organizing. So how do you find it? Like, how do you find like organizing these kind of things that's more like educational purpose for people who just started coding and stuff?
So I started organizing this along with a friend, also based in Vancouver. So she's currently also organizing our ladies events in Vancouver, and she had this idea of bringing the Python ladies and our ladies communities together and put together this event. And so we got together last year, and I think it was 7 of us working on this together. And the purpose was hosting a few workshops in R and Python and giving participants projects and forming the teams. So the idea was at the end of this, you have a project that you can work on, you have experience, and you can put it in your portfolio. So we really were focused on people who just came out of school and don't have a lot of experience.
So do you focus on any like demographic, or it's just like anybody who just started coding, or like you
So
have a focus group?
definitely someone who just started. Last year, we had a very strong focus on women and members of minority groups. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's something that like I was trying to do as well, but of course here in London, and I do also do it with friends that we have meetups and all these things for women, and also someone who want to change their career into doing technical stuff. So yeah, so I think that's like really good that you're doing something that really helped to build a community further.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Go
talking
ahead.
about community, what do you think about? Because I know that you also like have been involved in some R community as well. So like, how do you think like comparing different communities? What do you think Python community is doing?
So one of my favorite things about the Python community, and I think one of the key components, is volunteering and open source. And I think this particular value helps members have access to it. And I think it's also a driving factor in encouraging people to contribute. And contributing can take many forms. You can go anywhere from organizing a meetup to organizing a conference, but it can also include contributing to a Python package or even creating your own Python library. So I think I haven't had exposure to a ton of different communities, so I can't really speak to how it compares to others. But I think what I love about it is one notion of volunteering. We all put a bit of what we can, and then two, making it open source. I think it's a great one for sure.
Do you think it's good for beginners to like already contributing? Like, do you think it's too difficult for them, or is it a good way to start?
I think contributing to an open source library as your very first project when you're just getting started might be a bit intimidating. I think at least in my experience, I found it very helpful to have a single project where there was a bit more structure and direction. And I think that research assistance opportunity was really helpful in terms of getting me started, because I was learning at the same time Python as I was learning the content of the project. So I think contributing to open source involves knowing Git and GitHub, knowing the contributing guidelines and the etiquette, the unspoken rules, namely, okay, do you create your pull request? Do you just go ahead and wipe someone's work? So no, I think getting started with open source is a bit much, for sure.
Yeah, I remember when I first started, like that I was really like scared, and I was, well, at the same time I think I was very brave, and maybe I don't know what I don't know. Then like I just joined like a meetup that I started contributing to pandas, which is a very very difficult project to contribute to, and basically my pull request got like review after review. Like every 5 minutes I got like something that like you have done this wrong, and like you have all this white space at the end, like how come you did that? Like for experienced people I think it's like, you know, how come you never lint your code, like things like that. But at that time I didn't even know what is linting. So yeah, definitely it's a bit difficult, but I think also I thank that experience that really opened my my eyes to like what you have to know in the open source world. So yeah, I always have this like feeling that I really want to continue, because I also organize some Python sprints that, well, now it has been stopped for a while, but I think it's a really good opportunity to have like more guidance for people who just started, that
Yep.
we can hold their hands much better if, you know, well, if
Absolutely.
we're back into the same room together someday, then yeah, then that's really really cool. So what was your first project that you contributed to open source?
First project that I contributed open source. So I've made small contributions to the iReceptor and AIR libraries, which is again part of some of the work that I do, where our focus is on providing infrastructure for researchers to access data from the adaptive immune system. So I think I don't have as much experience contributing to a big popular project. I've been taking very small steps in that direction, learning, you know, the in and out of good Python code, learning the in and out of pull requests. How do you work with others before I take on a bigger role when it comes to contributing to a Python library?
Yeah, I'm a bit distracted here because like I really want to know more about your experience in like with your background in open source, because it's very interesting that I heard a lot of like a comment about, you know, people commenting about researchers' code that they put on GitHub that is like, oh, it's like, you know, it's definitely like a academic code because it's not, you know, production ready, and like there's also a, I don't know whether it's a joke or a real thing that like not just like MIT, which is, you know, the normal license, they said like, oh, there should be a license for academics to use it. So when you use it, you have to, you know, accept that the fact that this code is by an academic that is not production ready. So I don't know what you feel about that, because it seems that you are doing very well in both worlds. Like you are a researcher, but you also do very well in, you know, writing code and contributing to open source. Like what do you feel about those kind of comments?
Yeah, I think I was very lucky in the kinds of projects that I had a chance to get involved with. Because the projects that I've had a chance to get involved with have both experience from people who've deployed code to production, and they also have that academic background. So really, I think it was, for me, it was about finding a team of people that had both skill sets and then learning from them.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, it's really good that you have learned to do that. I think like for some people, you know, they may not be like, oh, my focus must be like publishing my paper, so they would be like, okay, I won't do it. But it's good that you learn to kind of do things that makes everybody's life much easier. I
Yes.
think.
Yeah, no, and it's definitely a different approach. It's definitely a different approach. If your only focus is to get your images or figures ready for a publication and then write the code well enough so that you can refer to it later is one thing, but it's a very different thing to write a package for others to use. It's an entirely different beast for sure.
Yeah, so I know that you're very, very involved in the Python community, not just the the events that you mentioned before. You also volunteers for pajamas earlier last year, so I think that's why we met. So how's your experience with that? Like, first of all, like, how do you find out about pajamas, and like, what do you think about volunteering?
Well, I love volunteering, and I learned about pajamas during JupyterCon 2020. I was leading a sprint, and during the video final presentations, I had the chance to hear from other team leaders, and I met Lace during one of these sprints, and she advertised pajamas at the end of her sprint, and I thought, oh, you can talk about Python while wearing your pajamas. It sounds wonderful. I love the concept. And I knew I had to get involved. When I don't know, it really spoke to that developer / creative persona. And because of COVID, of course, we had to do it online. But it meant that the event could be hosted for about 24 hours. So there was a chance to go and see people from all over the world while being very comfortable at the same time. So it was great.
Yeah, I think it pay off. Like, I think Lace and I like do mention it a lot of times in anywhere that we go. So it really helps. And Lace is really good at persuading people to do things.
Oh yeah.
She's really good. So yeah, that's definitely a plus. And we're so glad to have you, because you really help us a lot during the event. Because you know, and having someone who's experienced with community work also help as well. So what do you think, like, would you recommend like these kind of things, like volunteering or like taking some community roles for people, even maybe people who just started, or people who are defined as minorities? Like, what advice you can give them? Like, would you encourage them
Absolutely.
with that? Yeah.
So as someone who does form part of a member of a minority group, I found volunteering was very helpful, one, in learning about events and finding projects to get involved with. And as someone, if you're a member of a community who is considered minority group, putting yourself out there essentially is taking on a leadership role, which means you have an opportunity to make your voice heard and put your input out there. So it's a great way to help others who might be having a similar experience. That's one. Two, when you put yourself out there, it communicates to those who might be having struggles as yours that they're not alone in their struggle, which I think is of huge value for sure when you realize, oh, sort of, so it's not like you're on your own. In terms of getting involved, I think it is great to take on volunteering roles. I would advise taking one step at a time, because it's very easy once you get on the volunteer train. It's very easy to start saying yes to things. So I'd suggest starting one step at a time and see how you feel, see how you manage to juggle that with other responsibilities, whether it's school or work. In the long run, it is very rewarding for sure. So yeah, I'd say yes to taking steps forward.
Yeah, because I think most of the time that I kind of heard from, uh, like, for example, women in the community, that they would feel like they're not good enough for things. Like, they would be a bit scared. For example, if I encourage people to be speaking at a conference, they would be like, "Oh my God, I don't know what to talk about. I don't think that I have any technical stuff to talk about. I'm not experienced in Python enough to do that." So, what do you think about that? Like, that kind of um, mentality, I guess.
It's a real, I think that fear is a real barrier for sure. And I know that I have that barrier for some other aspects of my working life. And again, taking small steps at the beginning, you don't have to take on like a big responsibility role like chair. But for instance, if you see a meetup, if and the meetup says, "Hey, we're looking for speakers," Meetup is a great opportunity to sort of start where you put a little bit of yourself out there, and it is an opportunity to share with others what you've worked on. And the community is normally very supportive of you. Some meetups have a mentorship program for speakers. So I think if you're considering volunteering, but at the same time feel that fear or of, oh, I'm not good enough, uh, give it a try. Try something small like a meetup, go to a hackathon if you feel afraid of being in the spotlight. Even just going to a hackathon, it is in a way volunteering to put your time sometimes on a weekend or on evening to help someone's project. So yeah, for sure. And over time, you can build confidence. I think starting small and then building confidence over time is helpful in terms of feeling like you can handle a bigger role, like a chair role or like an org role.
Yeah, and I think like going out to speak is very important, especially for minorities, because like there's something that I don't want to see in a conference is that all the like speakers are from very homogeneous, like they look similar, they may be from a similar group, and the topics is very homogeneous, like they're all like tech topic is like, you know, advancing Python. That's something that I don't want to see. I want to see a diversity of like people maybe talk about how to use Python to teach programming, let's say, or maybe how people use Raspberry Pi to do some like DIY projects, you know. I would love to see different things. So I think having a diversity of a speaker, demographic is really important as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it can be daunting, especially I think one of the bigger barriers I experienced as someone in minority group is there is this sort of back end experience of putting myself out there and experiencing rejection that can sometimes get in the way with, you know, me applying for things or me putting myself out there for things. And I think there's a lot of work to be done both in terms of easing those barriers for people who have had experience. But for sure, I think the biggest thing, and I think it's what you're getting at here, is acknowledging that lack of diversity and how it impacts the kinds of talks we have at conferences.
Yeah, but what do you think about like the diversity and equality? I mean, like, because lots of time, I think like we always talk about if you walk into a room of a tech event, you see like 90% men and like just one, like, you know, 99% men, sometimes even like 1% women, or like it's kind of like you feel that, oh, maybe like as a minority, we don't have like enough representation in the leadership, or I think it's like more of an issue, especially in workplaces, that maybe like when things are real, like, you know, we talk about pay, we talk about, you know, opportunity to be, you know, to up the career ladder, that like whether equality is some issues that you think in the tech world, and like how shall we improve that?
Yeah, so how is a big question. It's a big challenge for numerous reasons. Number one, you've mentioned that when you go to a workplace and you see there's a big discrepancy in the ratio. You know, you don't see as many people within your own team. That is definitely going to be what's the word for this? Intimidating. And there's also cultural challenges that come with being a few amongst many others that are not within your own circle. So I think one way I've seen this, or I can't speak to how to change it within a company, but one way that I've approached this kind of challenge in my own career path is understand that by taking on this role and by moving through that difficulty, by, you know, bearing the intimidating environment, I am helping potentially balance things out. So I think in a lot of sense, I owe a lot to the women who came before me, who also had to put themselves through that struggle to make things a bit better for me. And I think bearing that difficulty while we find solutions is a great way to improve that area for sure.
Yeah, I found that having help from each other is important. Like, because I remember when I was chatting with friends that they said about there's like this tech bro kind of community. So that's how like tech bros work, right? They would be like, oh, I know that my company is hiring. I would recommend my friend, or I would refer my friend to it. So they build a community of helping each other. So I think maybe, yeah, that's why this like women meetup group, or like this kind of support network is important, especially when we feel that as a women in tech, we have different difficulties in our careers. Because like, for example, having having a child could be more challenging for women than men because of different family roles, and also physically women are the one who give birth to a child physically, right? So yeah, there are more challenges, and I think as a woman in tech like us, that we could help each other and help the community.
I think you're getting at a great point there, which is coming together to support each other for sure. And sometimes this can mean we get together to work on policy improvements for the places where we work in, or organizing meetups and hosting talks to help our voice get heard. I think it's definitely a collective effort, and I think the role of community is huge in this regard.
Yeah, so especially I think now, like in pandemic, I think there's a lot of challenges, and I have actually, because I organized some data science workshop for people who has no experience, and then in some applications, someone will write that, oh, I've recently get laid off, or I've been let go, I have to, so they would take this as like maybe an opportunity to learn some new skills to help the, to help them in career. So yeah, like in pandemic, I think it's like even we can see all these like things is become more severe in this time. So yeah, I just like wish that things would get better soon. And if we go through this this pandemic, and if we are able to travel again, like which Python conference will you want to go? Like what would be your list
So
of, yeah.
I have to admit, I am excited about many of the upcoming ones. I am excited about PyCascades. I know EuroPython is also coming up this summer, and PyCon USA is also around the corner. All of these are going to be hosted online. If I had to pick one, I mean, obviously I know that all of these are going to be online, but if there was a chance to go to any of these conferences in person, I'd probably go for PyCascades. Due to the openness they have to explore creativity and art within Python.
Yeah, I think for me it would be like PyCon US, because it's the granddaddy of PyCon, right? It would be like, it's the biggest in the world. I think so far they still keep hold the record, I think. So last year I was planning to go, of course, like we just had the pandemic and I have to cancel it. So I still regret like still having like a hole in my heart that I have to go one day. So yeah, so I think that would be my choice. But PyCascade is good as well. I've heard good things about it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll hopefully by next year we will have a chance to do some in-person events in some form. Hoping for better times next year for sure.
Yeah. So I think the last thing that I like asking the guest will be like, do you have any words for people who just started their Python journey? What would be your advice or recommendation to them?
So for those who are getting started, working with Python might seem intimidating and daunting at first. For those who are working through an online course, you might find that you experience loss of motivation or the concepts aren't somehow sticking. So for that, I'd recommend finding ways to work with others. Forming part of a community like the Python community, it's a great way to remain involved and motivated, and also increases your opportunities to learn. Even just talking with others about Python is like, oh, I didn't know that library existed that solves the same problem I'm having. It's a wonderful way to keep you motivated. Finding your local meetups is a good way to find others and to learn from talks. These are normally free of cost, and some meetup programs have mentorship opportunities, whether for speakers or otherwise. And then usually by being connected to the meetups, then you also end up learning about other Python conferences or hackathons. I think the hackathons are great ways to put in practice your skills and pick up. My very first hackathon was in genomics, was HackSeek, hosted in Vancouver, and I had no idea what I was doing. Like I had very, very little experience with Python, and I was just mind blown by the kinds of things people and developers could do. But it was a huge motivation for me. Once I saw what you can do, I was like, oh wow, I want to learn. I want to keep, growing. So going to meetups, going to hackathons, and finding someone to work with. It's very unfortunate that with COVID, things like mentored sprints are sort of on hold because I think it's a wonderful initiative. If there's chances to collaborate on a mentored sprint, let me know, because I am trying right now to put together some form of mentored sprints with PyLadies Vancouver. I think this is a wonderful initiative, and I am hoping that we can find a way to make it work for sure, because it gives you that sort of project with some guidance.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see like more sprints coming up again, because it has been quiet for a while, partly because of the pandemic, partly because we had a winter kind of holiday time. But let's hope that things are going back on track. And thank you so much, Laura. I really love talking to you.
Likewise, thank you so
Really
much
great.
for having me.
Yeah, so so that's it for the interview, and I'll see you all back into our program.
Sounds
Bye.
great. Bye.
Okay.
That was so cool.
Yeah, I really like talking to Laura. She is cool. She is she is very nice. I mean, like, she's very encouraging as well for people who just started Python. Like, I think she had a very, very positive attitude to anything, and so that's really good.
Yeah, that was
And
quite fun.
yeah, really glad to have her in pajamas as well. I think she's
Mm-hmm.
really helpful. So yeah.
I did not know I was the reason why she joined us on pajamas, but I'm glad to hear.
Yeah, so that's why we are doing this, right? We have it's also like part of the reason why I really want to do more things for the community, because um I remember like how struggling I was when I get started. So I hope that there's a place for people to share and to learn, so they will feel less scared. And talking
Yeah.
about learning, we do have a very good recommendation this week, which I think I've talked about this tutorial in my streaming, the Python Zero to Hero tutorial series on Sunday. I've talked about that like at the end of last year, that I was learning Flask. Basically, what happened is that I was learning Flask. I did learn a little bit of Django. I'm still not a very fluent Django user, but I try to learn a little bit more about these amazing framework. And then after that, I try to learn Flask. And there's this like mega tutorial by Miguel. This is amazing. I've been mentioning this all the time. I have sent him a message on Twitter saying thank you. I really love his tutorial. He also got a Patreon, so if you want to support him and buy him a coffee, please do that. And you see, this is like so big, like it got everything. I think like kind of if you go for half of it, you already like you can already use Flask. But like if you go for all of them, I'm sure you'll be a guru. So
Nice.
yeah, I think you
And he's Irish.
Jackson. I
He's Irish.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think I've read about him on Twitter. Yeah. So
Yes.
amazing tutorial. If you are learning Flask, I think this is really a way to go. So it's like, again, it's like from zero to hero. It's like from very beginning, installing Python, installing everything, and then to kind of a hello world, application, adding more functionalities until you become a guru. So there's something to check out. Maybe I can you can just like go to Miguel's blog here, and then you will find it, or it's actually in the notes in our note. So so this is how you can find it if you have the note, and I'll try to put the note in the description of the video as well. So if you're watching the video, so you would also find this. Also, all this like information, we try to put the link like we did it before in like before, so I think that's it. Anything else to add like before we see each other next month? Oh yeah, by the way, we don't do it every week anymore. We don't do it in the middle of the week anymore. We do it like Friday evening, because this is our new like show kind of thing on a Friday. I actually don't drink that much anymore. Otherwise, I'll be having a beer normally on a Friday weekend, but I don't drink that much anymore. I just don't see the point of drinking alone in my room. It can make me feel sad. So Yeah, so this is how we do it. Friday evening, every month. I think it will be the last Friday every month that we talk about. And
Yeah,
yeah.
I think
So
that's a good idea. Yeah. Or last Friday. I'm super happy to be back. Are you happy to be back?
I'm happy to be back, and I'm happy to do something. I mean, we took a long break, and now, yeah, finally times that we could do something. And yeah, being able to do things make me happy, basically, and also my plants make me happy, I think.
And cooking and eating
Yeah,
and
cooking.
sleeping.
Yeah, I'm thinking about making some mapo tofu after this, and I've got all the ingredients. I have some like minced pork that I've been like sitting in my fridge for a while. I have to finish them, so I gotta do that. By the way, mapo tofu is not always vegetarian. Some of the recipe got meat in it, so be careful if you order it in a Chinese restaurant. For all of
Ah,
you vegetarian or vegan out there, just to be sure. Yeah, because
I
like
want your recipe because
some
I don't know
dishes
what that is.
or even some sauce is not like vegetarian, like for example fish sauce, which is like a sauce very popular in Southeast Asian cuisine, but it's fermented fish, so it's very commonly used. So yeah, make sure they don't put fish sauce in your uh, veggie dish if you are a vegetarian or if you're vegan. So yeah, always check.
Yeah.
I think like
I
if you go to a restaurant in London, it's usually fine, right? Because if they put it as vegetarian, they know that they adopt it. But if you go to traveling in Asia, you have to be sure.
Oh, yeah, yes. I was gonna say I love how we start talking about Python and all the time we just ended up talking about something completely different, which is awesome.
Yeah, so like yeah, because my father is vegetarian, and like sometimes if we go to restaurant together, he'll be like, no, they are not really vegetarian because they may use lard for the oil. It's like, no, who's using lard anymore? Like, it's not like 30 years ago. So so yeah, he's like really conscious. He need to go to dedicated vegetarian restaurants to eat out because he wanted to be sure that all the things he eat is vegetarian. So yeah.
I that's okay, okay. So very like a
Yep.
very good vegetarian. Okay. No, I was vegetarian for a while, but never that much. Like I was always, yeah, I will like if there's lard on things, I'll eat it. Like it's not a issue. The thing that I was always against of was like if there is meat on your plate, you take the meat out and throw it in the bin
Oh
just
yeah.
because you don't want to eat it because you're vegetarian and you're trying to save the animals. It's like, well, something died for you to have that piece of meat on your plate. And if you just throw it in the bin, then you're actually doing something worse. But again, like
Yeah,
me, it's a
I had a
personal
friend
opinion.
who's like super nice. He is like, he's vegetarian because of his religions, like, but he's kind of some kind of branch of some Buddhism or something. But like the teaching is that if we go out to eat or like if we cook a dish for everyone, if it's like some stir fry with meat in it, he would just like it's fine. He would just take the vegetable. We can enjoy the meat. He's okay with it, and yeah, it's really nice that it was very flexible. But I think it's like it's
Mhm.
a personal choice, right? I think it's less of a problem if you go to a Western restaurant because you just order your own food. It's not like you have a
Yeah.
place to share all the time like in Chinese food. So
Oh yeah, sure. Because like Chinese food is like super communal, right?
yeah, you
Like
have
you.
lots of it's like tapas. You have like medium sized, not small, but medium sized dish. Like usually the rule is if you go to a Chinese restaurant, if you have like four people in a group, then you order four medium sized dish, with some of them are meat, some of them are vegetable, and then you all share. So this is the rule of thumb. So like how many to order if you go to a Chinese restaurant depends on how many people in your group. So this is usually how we go with it. Yeah.
I
So
can't
more
wait to go to
people.
a Chinese restaurant with you.
Yeah, so more people, more variety of dishes you can have. So that's why we love going in a big group. So like if you have two people, right? You have like for example one fish and then one vegetable, and that's it. You can't have any other meat or anything. If you have a group of six, then you can enjoy six different kind of dishes.
Okay. So I'm gonna say that again then. I can't wait to go to a Chinese restaurant with you and a bunch of people.
Yeah, yeah. You know, there was a meetup group that like it's called Chopstick something, dim sum chopstick. I forgot. Like, so they gather in a group to eat together to go to an Asian restaurant because for the reason of being able to share. Yeah, to try different things.
I was gonna see if that there is that exists here as well.
Yeah,
Maybe we
but
can
of
do
course,
takeaway.
yeah, of course, it's not happening now. Like,
Oh yeah, true.
yeah, but it will happen soon. Yeah, it will happen soon again. You can start a meetup in Ireland after this pandemic, and you know, like eating like dining club or something.
Now, if I start a meetup in Ireland, it's gonna be Python sprints, Dublin chapter.
Yeah,
That's
sprint
it.
and food. Maybe everybody bring one dish of food, and then you can share and code at the same time. Oh, that would be great.
Sprints ice cream. Imagine.
Yeah, eating club. Yes, I think Luke will be the first one who joined.
Yes. That sounds about right. Yes.
Yeah. Right. So I think that's it. And this is our Great Friday. I'm gonna to make some mapo tofu, and yeah,
Cool. Have fun. That's
yeah,
my flatmate for everyone.
yeah. I see. I love that. I love that you're not like, cause now I'm like alone, so it's good to have something. Like, if you have a cat, please bring your cat in the frame. But I think we don't have, so yeah. If someone, if like next time if we have a guest who got a dog or a cat, then we can be like, please, yeah,
Please add them to the streaming. Yes, I
yeah.
don't have any pets. No, I was thinking about getting like a
Hamster,
rodent. Yeah, something like
a
that.
rodent.
But no. Yeah, rodent. Yes.
Any rodents, just go to the sewer and grab. Yeah.
St. Stephen's Green's full of them. But no, too much work. No, not now.
Oh. Right.
Anyhow,
Okay. So yeah,
cool.
otherwise we can be talking till till midnight. But we'll see you all next month, and we don't know who is coming on next yet. But yeah, we'll
We'll
see.
let you know when you do. Just
Yeah.
have a look. Keep an eye on Twitter.
Yes. Right. So that's it, and see you.
Bye 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 bye
Bye.
bye.
Oh, I have to put the banner. Wait, we can't end it yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.